What I want to do, first of all, is I want to introduce you to a brand new website. It's brand new, even in existence, just a few weeks ago. And if you load up Heartland Net, you can actually, it was right on their screen and it still is, right there at the bottom. It says firstgov.gov. Go ahead and click on that. Okay, and why don't you take just a minute and look around that site and see what all is there. One of the things you'll see there, if you look down the left side, you'll notice it says U.S. government, and it's got executive branch, legislative branch, and judicial branch. Go ahead and click on legislative branch. Everybody see that? And then just look and see what's there. You can see they have separate links for the United States Senate and the United States House and some other things. A little bit later on, we'll come back to this and look at some other sites. All right, now let's go to a different website. And that one is Thomas, THOMAS, LOC.gov.
The teacher introduces several search engines and websites that contain information on Congress. The students will research the role congressional committees play in producing legislation.
This activity is a simulation of the process of writing bills that they do through congressional committees. Usually I have two classes, and one class will be the House, one class will be the Senate. We'll do research on a bill, then we will have a congressional committee hearing. Students will be various roles. They'll testify to the senators or representatives. We also have news media people that cover the event. And out of this, each class comes up with a bill from their house, and then we try and reconcile those two bills just like they would in Congress. And the final result then is a bill on some particular topic.
The students have been assigned roles as U.S. senators, witnesses, journalists, and pollsters. They start the day by simulating a congressional committee hearing. They are debating a proposal to raise the minimum wage.
I'd like to welcome you guys to the hearings on minimum wage. I'll first start with my statement on what I think minimum wage should be. I am for the minimum wage increase in the United States. The dollar increase over 2 years is much needed to better our economy. With the minimum wage as it is now, a full-time employee would make around $10,700 a year, over $3,000 less than the poverty line. I understand that the raise in minimum wages will not solve all the poverty in the United States, but our workers deserve better, especially when our economy is booming and we need to keep up with the rising cost of life's basic needs.
The teacher then organizes the students so they can have a press conference.
We're going to have press conferences now. And see, you three are the press, right? Okay, so why don't you three come up and sit at this table? Maybe, yeah, come up and sit, and you guys vacate. You guys go ahead and move back. And the way we're going to do it, wait a minute. The way we're going to do this is you four are going to give a press conference. It's, you know, they refer to that as bipartisanship. We've got a bipartisan majority on this committee that want this raised. So in this case, even though you're different parties, Democrat and Republican, you're still kind of agreement. So you're going to give this joint conference. In the United States Senate, that's pretty common. Well, it's fairly common for Republicans and Democrats to work together, more so than in the House of Representatives. So what you've done is really not all that unusual.
Okay, we're the senators here. We are for the minimum wage increase in the United States. We want a dollar raise, some of us over 2 years, some of us over 3 years, and we would like to know if any of the press has any questions they'd like to ask us.
I'd like to start with Senator Jeffords. You stressed that this will better our economy. Can you explain or give some examples as to how it would do that?
Yes, our economy right now, the poverty line is low, and this would help people get out of poverty, give them more money, people would get off welfare, which would better our economy.
Now what I would like you people to do for next time is, who's the newspaper person? Okay, write up a statement, and we'll either copy it or you can just read it, either way. And then you two get to make a live TV report in front of the camera since you chose to be TV personalities.
You can just pick someone.
No, well, you can if you want. You can do an interview, or you can just make a report, or you can combine them. You know, a lot of times they do both. I'll leave that to you.
The teacher chooses to spend a few minutes with the students reflecting on the activity to this point.
And at a press conference, you have questions thrown at you out of the blue. And like, for instance, when Jessica asked if there was room for compromise, well, had you really thought about that, Aaron?
No.
No. Now, real senators do. I mean, they're looking for compromise often. But it still puts you on the spot. What else? Did you feel like when you started that you understood the issue somewhat? Then when they started asking questions, how was that different? Then you go, Say that a little louder.
You just start thinking more about both views and everywhere.
Right, and exactly. And that's one of the good things about this kind of setup, because we've done the research and we've studied the issues, but then when TJ starts asking questions, or whomever,
The teacher explains some of the basic parts of a bill. The students who play roles as senators then work together to draft their own bill concerning the minimum wage.
what I was going to show you before I got sidetracked by the co-sponsors, then you look and you'll notice every page you have the lines, and although this looks pretty big, and it is, it's still big print and double spaced and all that kind of stuff. But they do this so that people can easily look at the bill, and if they're discussing it like in a committee meeting, then they can say on page 58, line 10, you're talking about this, this, and this, and everybody can turn to it. And so what they suggest you do on that form is that you have each line numbered in the same way. That's why they do that.
I think we should raise it to $6.15 over 3 years.
We won't ask
Two.
you
Five.
to. We're
Two.
so far behind already.
I know, but like the small businesses, they can't fit it in their budget over 2 years.
The teacher finishes the lesson by explaining that the bill they pass through the Senate has to match the bill the other class writes, since that class is acting as the House of Representatives.
Did you notice this is an amendment to the 1938 Fair Labor Standards Act? Did some of you run across that when you looked at the bills on the website? Okay. Yeah. Well, there's only going to be one amendment that's going to be signed by the president, or there's going to be none. And so you and the Senate have to have identical wording down to the commas on your bill for it to become law. And so they're going to develop their own bill, and it may be very similar. And if it is, then it'll be very easy to come up with that.